afternoon, good night. My name is Mark Fox Jr., and this is Become the Podcast. How do you become anything? You dream, you declare, you commit, and success is your next breath. So again, we are Acapulco this morning. No music, and so it's just not the same without music. I got to figure some things out. And find a way to get music involved because just adds a little bit to the podcast. So hopefully my voice is smooth enough and cool enough to captivate your imagination and make it easy to listen to. But let's jump into it. So some years ago, my wife was listening to a book called The Growth Mindset. She was listening to the audio book. And we were driving somewhere, and she turned it on. She said, "You gotta check this book out. I think you like it, and I think you see a lot of yourself in this book." And so it was ironic. The first thing that she played for me was this. It was the author Carolyn Dweck. She was talking about, I think it was Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan, these two superstars and their growth mindset and how it differed from the fixed mindset. And so instantly I was pulled in because anytime you talk about, you hear about your heroes, you hear about the people that you admire most in some capacity, you're drawn. And when you're made aware of why they're special, right? Beyond the physical ability and stuff that you see in sport, but when you start getting down to the core of why they are special and why other people who perform on high levels, whether in sport or not in sport, why they're special, you start connecting these dots, and it was just fascinating. So the book is called Growth Mindset, and Carolyn Dweck is a psychology professor at Stanford and Dr. Carolyn Dweck. She's a psychology professor at Stanford University. And the book, Growth Mindset, is talking about two different mindsets. There's the fixed mindset and there's the growth mindset. And so the fixed mindset, and this is not, I'm giving you my own definition of it. Now, it's the definition, but I'm just kind of using my own words. The growth mindset basically says if the objective or the goal requires more skill than I currently have, I'm out of luck. Then I'm not going to be able to perform at an optimal level, right? So if someone gives you an opportunity and you don't come in with the necessary skill set, or you don't come in with the skills necessary to fulfill the obligation, then you're done, right? And so you might still participate, but your confidence isn't going to be there. Your resolve isn't going to be there. You're not going to be mentally where you need to be in order to complete the objective, especially if there's going to be some adversity attached to it. The growth mindset says, regardless of what the situation is, regardless of what the opposition is, regardless of what my skill set is, I can fulfill the obligation because I have the ability to learn whatever it is I need to learn in order to get the job done. Okay, so it's as simple as, here's a job. I don't have all these skills, but I know I can learn them. And because I know I can learn them, I know I can do the job on a high level. Okay, how often do you get a job where it's a perfect fit? There's going to be something that you're not good at. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the job says, okay, you need to be able to be proficient in Excel. Well, I don't really know Excel, but I know I can learn it. You need to be proficient in, creating presentations. Well, okay, presentation is my strong suit. I'm more of a behind the scenes person, but I know I can develop the ability to create awesome presentations, to communicate to whoever I need to communicate what we are doing here. So I know the work, but now I have to get on stages. I have to get in front of, get in a boardroom and get in front of an audience, and I have to be able to communicate what it is we're doing here. That's not something that I enjoy doing, but I know I'm capable of doing it. And because I know I'm capable of it, then all of a sudden the job becomes, because I know I'm capable of it, I can do it. Now all of a sudden my confidence goes up, and I put myself in position to perform on an optimal level. So there's the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. And so, in looking for some something to talk about today, I thought about this book and I thought about this concept, and as I think about things that I want to talk about, I'm always looking for things that are kind of hidden or not as obvious when it comes to development, when it comes to becoming a higher version of ourselves, right? So I just don't want to say believe in yourself, you know what I'm saying? Unless I can attack some sort of deeper part or reveal some more a hidden part or concept within that, believe in yourself. So I'm always looking for the things that aren't as obvious, and I thought that this isn't as obvious as it seems, and so I just wanted to bring it to light in hopes that someone will hopefully listen to it and say, man, this is again something that I haven't thought about, and hopefully will help them out moving forward. So here we go. So the book is called Mindset. And so I was looking through my Instagram and I saw one of the posts that I sent out a long time ago. And it basically had the growth mindset and the fixed mindset, and it had 5 categories or 5 instances or themes. And the themes were challenges, obstacles, effort, criticism, and success of others. And it was in this little picture, which I will show you, and it'll be connected to the post. It was basically saying, how does the growth mindset and the fixed mindset deal with challenges, obstacles, efforts, criticisms, success of others? So what I thought I would do is basically kind of just go down the line and talk about how the fixed mindset and the growth mindset deal with these themes, and then kind of give you just a quick little anecdote or story or narrative or whatever the case may be to kind of put it in perspective. So let's get after it. When the fixed mindset, how do I want to start this off? Challenges. The fixed mindset, they avoid challenges. The growth mindset, they embrace challenges. A lot of this goes back to the 2%. 2% of people are thinking. 2% of people, the 2% of people that are thinking are those that are of the growth mindset or have the growth mindset, right? They are constantly racking their brain to come up with a solution or come up with some method that gets them closer to 100, okay? And it doesn't always, in embracing challenges, doesn't always mean you succeed. It doesn't always mean you finish first. It doesn't mean that you win. It just means that you're willing to embrace the challenge because you know that on the other side of this, there may be a skill you develop. There may be some courage, a level of courage that you achieve. There's something good on the other side if I just embrace the challenge and just take it on. But the fixed mindset, they won't even attack it because they're in their mind, they're thinking, well, I don't have the necessary skills to fulfill or to I don't have the necessary skills to answer the challenge. So what's the point of competing? What's the point of what's the point of participating? I'll just avoid it altogether. And the reality is, no matter what you think of yourself, no matter what your background is, you have something. You have something that helps you in a situation. You have something, right? And the universe and God is never going to put you in a situation that is so impossible for you to decode. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, the universe is going to, put you in a situation where you have to perform heart or brain surgery on somebody and you've never stepped foot in the hospital or never taken a biology course or anything like that. Like, the universe is not going to do that. You're not going to be 20 and all of a sudden someone's going to say, hey, can you come help me save this man's life? I need you to perform surgery. That's never going to happen. It's never going to happen. But trust, if it did happen, you probably have some background that gives you some knowledge base, some skill in order to do that, right? And that's an extreme example. But 9 times out of 10, if you're being challenged, you have some ability. You have some ability. You have some background. You have some instinct, right, that allows you the opportunity to be successful. But a lot of times you have to be willing to say, okay, you have to be willing to go through your brain and go through your experiences and think about, what do I have that gives me a chance? What do I have to offer? What do I have to contribute? So when we talk about challenges, don't think that just because the challenge is overwhelming that you have nothing to contribute. Just because the challenge is super, super big and super, it almost seems impossible, don't think you don't have anything to contribute. You have something to contribute. Something. And if you just use that something, once you get involved, you may realize that you have a little bit more than just that something. You have some other things as well that you can contribute and use to help solve the challenge. So, the growth mindset, they embrace the challenge. The fixed mindset, they avoid the challenges. Obstacles. The fixed mindset, they give up easily. The growth mindset, they persist in the face of setbacks. Once again, when things get tough, the growth mindset are saying, at the end of the day, if I just keep on plugging away, I'm going to either stumble upon the answer, or I'm going to grow and develop and get stronger simply because I kept plugging away. Like just out of sheer consistency and out of just the act of activity alone, I'm going to somehow be better off having being persistent as I would have been had I just given up easily. And we talk about persistence. Persistence is getting hit, but then getting up, getting hit, and then getting back up, and just keep on going after it. And that's what the greats do. And sometimes people who have a hard time understanding greatness and have a hard time understanding purpose, they have a hard time watching somebody get hit and then get back up, get hit, then get back up. It's hard on them. And probably because they got hit and they never got up. Or maybe they never even got hit. They avoided the hit altogether. So they have a hard time understanding how you can be so persistent and how you can continue to get hit but get back up. It's tough on them. It's hard to process, right? But when you are kind of wired in a certain way, when you're wired in a way that elicits greatness, you understand the necessity to be persistent, right? You understand the necessity to get up every time you get hit, knocked down. I mean, you understand that when you get back up, you may not be at full strength. You may not be 100%, but you got to give yourself a chance. By simply getting up after you've been knocked down several times, just getting back up might confuse and intimidate the opposition. I remember when I was younger, I used to watch wrestling. And one of my favorite wrestlers was Hulk Hogan. And Hulk Hogan, would get beat down. And then, because Hulk Hogan was like a wrestler of the people, he was a good guy. He had a good, his character was, he fought for the young kids, right? So as he would get beat down, the kids would start cheering and whatnot. And he started like getting the power. and he starts shaking his hand. He starts shaking his hand and shaking his head. And because he had endured this beatdown, he was like standing back up. The other wrestler would start looking at him with their hands up, saying like, no, 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 like, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? And it was always this little bit that they would do where Hulk Hogan was getting his powers back. But that's a lot like what happens in reality. When you get hit several times and you get knocked down and then you get back up, almost saying like, I'm like, the more you hit me, the stronger I get. Every time I get up, I get a little stronger. It affects the opposition in a weird kind of way. Because now I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, this person ain't quitting. This person ain't stopping. I just gave you my best blow, and it didn't stop you, and you endured that, and you now coming after me. It's intimidating. But the people who have the fixed mindset, they understand this. The fixed mindset, they don't. They give up easily. As soon as they get hit, they give up easily. I often think that the fixed mindset, and this is most people, they almost want to get knocked out. They rather, instead of going hard, they rather go soft so that they can say, I got knocked out, that's why I didn't succeed. It's almost like if you're playing a game, right? I got a better example. When I'm training kids who have the fixed mindset, and they in their head say, I can't do this drill. I can't do this drill. I can't be proficient at it. I can't do this. I can't execute the skill properly. What they'll do is they'll basically quit on themselves in the hope that I'll quit on them and kick them out the gym. That's equivalent to a knockout. So they'll say, instead of trying my best and having this person get on my case, right? Because I'm almost there. I'm not quite there. I'm almost there. Instead of having this person continue to coach me up hard, I'll quit on myself in hopes that they'll get frustrated with me and kick me out the gym. Or you look at a team that says, instead of us competing because we're down 20 and possibly lose by, 5, get it down as far as we can, let's just give up and then let's just get blown out by 30, 40 points. And then we can just say, man, listen, that team was really, really good. As opposed to saying, no, let's not give in. We started out bad, but we can still win the second half. And we don't know that we don't know how winning the second half against this really, really good team might translate to our next practice, might translate to the practice after that, might translate to the game after that. But if you quit, what type of impact is that going to have on the next practice? Like, you think, okay, if I quit now and just suffer the beatdown and the feedback that comes from this quitting, it's cool. The next day I'll come back hard. No, you won't. No, you won't. It's going to take you some time to override that moment that you quit. So if you think that if I just quit now, then I can just show up tomorrow morning and I'll be ready to rock and roll. No, you won't. That the residue of that moment in which you quit will still be lingering. And you have to address that before you can now understand what it takes to power through and be persistent and can keep fighting even when the odds are against you. So the growth mindset, they persist in the face of obstacles. The fixed mindset, they give up easily. Effort. The fixed mindset sees effort as fruitless and useless. The growth mindset, they see effort as a path to mastery. So the fixed mindset, again, if they don't come in with the necessary skills to perform on an optimal level, then their whole mindset is, well, what's the point? I don't have what I need to begin with, so why even bother? Why even bother? I don't have what I need to begin with, so what's the point? But the growth mindset come in saying, whether I'm operating within my genius level talent or not, by simply participating and looking to develop, looking in ways in which I can grow, I give myself a chance. I give myself a chance. And at the end of this thing, I said it once before, but I said at the end of this thing, there's a good chance I might come out of here stronger. I may come out of here better. I may come out of here more experienced. I may be developing a skill that's going to impact me 5 years down the line. I was talking to someone recently, and I said I would have never thought that growing up in the church, listening to my father speak, playing basketball in front of people, and being an admission counselor, always providing presentations, doing cold calls, communication, right? Going to schools, talking about the university. I never thought that would impact me the way in which I attack inspirational speaking. When I'm speaking, I'm in front of people. I have to perform. And I utilize what I saw my father as a minister. I utilize my, the experiences that of playing in front of crowds, and I also use the what I've learned in admissions to help me speak in front of crowds, to get that confidence to speak in front of crowds. And so I'm not a minister, but I learned from it. I didn't have a great basketball career, but I learned from it. I hated admissions, but I learned from it. And it's impacting me every single day that I, even the podcast that I do, it impacts me. And that's why when we engage, we have to engage with the mindset of, I got to learn something. I'm here for a reason. I'm not here just so I can be tortured. I'm here for a reason, so I got to figure it out. Because what I'm experiencing right here might just be the catalyst for an opportunity later on. But you can't look at what you're doing as this doesn't matter. Because when you start looking at what you're doing like it doesn't matter, then you negate the potential of growth altogether. Criticism. The fixed mindset, they ignore useful feedback, or they think feedback is negative. Anytime they get feedback or criticism, they either ignore it or they can look at it as negative. Automatically, it's negative. Any feedback that you get, it's negative, right? And the feedback might be critical, like, okay, listen, there's some things that you didn't do here. But instead of saying, okay, what didn't I do, and how can I improve, my process? How can I improve my method? How can I improve my product? How can I make the bottom line look better? No, it's negative. Not all criticism is negative. Even when people are being negative, sometimes there's some truth in that. There's some truth in that. Even when people are being negative and they're coming at you sideways, sometimes there's still some truth in that. The growth mindset, they learn from criticism. So if you come, even if some people are really clever and tactful about giving you the brutal facts. This is what we didn't do right. Cool. Let's make some adjustments. It's as simple as that. Are there adjustments to be made? Can we make adjustments? Do we have time to make adjustments? What adjustments can we make in the time that we have? Can we make all the adjustments? Yes, great. Can we make some of the adjustments? Yes, great. We can't make any adjustments. Okay, but still, I want to know what adjustments I can make for the next time. There won't be a next time. Still, I would like to know what I can do better. The growth mindset. Just have to know. There's got to be some way in which I can get better. Because this moment right here may be done, but I can take something from this moment and apply it somewhere else in my life. I want to get better. I want to grow. I want to develop. I want to expand. I want to elevate into a higher level. But 98% of people, they think that as soon as you come at them sideways, as soon as you come at them with criticism, you're being negative. Now, realizing like there's some truth in it, man. Listen. Even if they're yelling at you and screaming at you, there just might be some truth. There just might be some truth. And the truth might not be about you, it might be about something else. You might see some other things. Sometimes, the kids, they have issues and they have challenges, and you're trying to figure out what's wrong, and they tell you what's wrong, but in all actuality, it's something else that's bothering them. but you still have to listen so you can hear the hidden truth. And sometimes when we get criticism, there may be some hidden truths. But if we assume that all truth is negative and we're being attacked the entire time, then we never give ourselves a chance to figure out solutions. We never give ourselves a chance to figure out how we can make things better. Success. The success of others. The fixed mindset, they feel threatened by success. That's because they're competing with everyone else. The growth mindset, they find lessons and inspiration in the success of others. And that's because they're competing with themselves. See, when you're competing with other people and you see other people become successful, it can mess with you. Because see, you don't know all the work that was put into that success. And you don't know the true story. There's the eye test, there's the sniff test and stuff like that, but you don't really know what they're going through. You don't know all the content that was poured into what got them from point A to point B. So you can kind of get little, you can get kind of, confused, intimidated, so on and so forth. But the growth mindset, they look at everything as, they're looking for inspiration. They're looking for the lessons. Because they're looking at, okay, if that person did it, I can do it. If that person did it, well, what can I take from how they did it and apply it to how, my process? How can I use what they've done, what they've been able to accomplish and use it? You may not know how much help they got. You may not know if somebody was, given a handout. You never know. You never know if somebody had to literally from the bottom to the top have to work there. You never know. But you just want to look at what they did and say, man, I just want to be inspired. I just love the fact that somebody did it. Because if somebody did it, then I know I can do it too. Especially if it's within my purpose, especially if it's within my genius level talent. And so that brings me to a bit of a close. And something that I think we all need to think about is, number one, we've all exercised the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. There's been times when immediately I thought, I don't have it. I can't do it. I remember I was filling out job applications some time ago, and I didn't want to fill out the job applications. And I kept looking at the job applications and saying, well, I don't have that skill. I shouldn't apply. And Sarah was like, it doesn't matter. Like, you may not have that skill, but you have several others. Like, you can learn how to do this, but you still need to let them know that, listen, I'm capable of doing this job. I have these skills. So we've all been in growth. We've all had the fixed mindset. And there's been times when I clearly, even with this podcast, I still don't think, I have the best, my approach is spot on, but I know I'm learning. I know I'm getting better. I know my timing is getting better. I know my thought process is getting better. My preparation is getting better. I know there's some parts of doing this podcast that have improved. So with that being said, there's the growth mindset. I know I'm getting better in some way. And who knows if I'll be a mega podcaster, but I know I'm developing and growing because that I do this podcast every morning. So when you're dealing with other people who have the fixed mindset, you have to understand you've been that person too. So be easy on them, right? And try to use your moments of empowerment, try to use the moments in which you experience that growth and see if you can help them with their moments of growth. It might be just a little bit of growth over here, a little bit of growth over here, a little bit of growth over here. Those micro moments of growth will eventually turn into a macro moment of growth. So be easy on them. The second thing is, you never know how many factors are contributing to the growth mindset and the fixed mindset. You never know. You just never know. So again, be easy on them. Be easy on them. When you talk about factors, you have to ask yourself, does your family, right? Do they defend the legacy of resiliency, or do they defend the legacy of dependency? Somebody might have grown up in a family where the family construct was built on being resilient and figuring things out. Somewhere down the line, grandma figured it out, great grandma figured it out, and because of that, she taught all her kids how to figure it out. Or granny and gramps, they figured it. They learned how to figure things out, and because they learned how to figure things out, they made sure that the kids knew how to do the same thing. So they didn't give out handouts. They said if you want to get something, if you want to buy something, you got to earn it. Or if you jump on a team, or you decide you want to take guitar lessons or whatever, well, you're gonna finish them. You're gonna finish it, and you're gonna tell me what you learned after you get done. Because sometimes, man, we quit on things, and if we finish it, we end up falling in love with it. Man, I'm glad you didn't let me quit, man. I'm glad you didn't let me quit. Just because now I feel so much better about. I'm excited now about, this thing that I jumped into that I didn't like in midway through, but man, because I stayed into it, I figured some things out. Man, now I love it. Now I love it. Just this summer, I don't like water. I don't like being underwater. But this summer, I got back in the pool for the first time in I don't know how long, since middle school, and like we learned how to swim, right. And my family was like, Mark, get in the pool, get in the pool. We had this pool all to ourselves. We went to go visit a friend. We had the pool all to ourselves. And I decided to get in there. And man, I didn't want to come out again. They encouraged me to get in there, and I didn't want to come out. And that's a lot of times what we see when we are encouraged to do something, and we're encouraged to stick in there and hang in there. And all of a sudden we realize we're a little bit better than we thought. And sometimes people come from that. People come from that environment. But some people come from a different environment. They become from an environment of dependency. They're dependent on everybody else to do everything for them, because they feel like they can't do it. So they're like, I hope somebody else will come in here and take care of this. I hope somebody else will come in here and make this right. So again, are you defending the legacy of resiliency? Do you defend that? Do you defend your legacy of resiliency? Like I'm going to stand here with the shield in my hand and the sword. I'm going to fight against everything that is coming for everything that we built. Our family is resilient, so I'm going to fight for that. Or do you defend the legacy of dependency? We built a legacy in which we want to lean on everyone else to take care of the work, and so I'm going to fight for us to stay dependent upon everyone else. What are you defending? What curse are you defending? Some people come from that, and because of what they come from, they can't see straight, and they can't see their ability. They can't see what they bring to the table. It doesn't make sense to them. They can't see a world in which they come in with very few resources, and then they succeed. They can't see a world where they have very little, but end up with everything they need, with necessity, and maybe even access at the end of it. We got more than what we need now. They can't see it, and that's tough, man. That's like almost like a mental disease. Not being able to see yourself being resilient and successful. That's almost like a mental disease. Like, can you see yourself being successful? Can you see yourself figuring things out? Nah, not really. Wow. Because that's all some people see. That's all some people see. The second you give them an opportunity, all they see is them finishing the race being first. That's it. That's all they can see. All I know is now I'm going to finish this race first. But you don't have X, Y, and Z. It doesn't matter. I have opportunity alone. And because I have opportunity alone, I'm good. Some people have resources and they still can't see themselves being successful. It's tough, but it's reality. And we never know who's been abused and who's been empowered. You have some relationships, whether it's a parent-child relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's a friendship, where people are being abused and constantly being told, you can't do it. You can't do it. You can't do it. People are trying to break their spirit. You can't do it. You can't do it. You don't have enough. You're not strong enough. You're not smart enough. You're not cute enough. You're not thin enough. You don't come from money. You don't come from a place where people succeed. You haven't been given the proper resources. Why try? And why? Because a lot of people want to put their limitations on you. So they say, I'm of the fixed mindset. I'm afraid of challenges, obstacles. I'm afraid of giving effort, criticism. I'm threatened by the success of others. And I think you should be too. So stay down here. It's the culture of the miserable. I'm miserable, so why don't you hang out with me? And so they play a lot of mind games, especially if you're vulnerable. They play a lot of mind games in hopes that one day you'll just quit and you'll just decide, you know what? Let's just be the 95%, the 98%. And let's not give too much effort. Let's just rest here and chill out and let everybody do everything for us. And then get mad when we don't get what we want. Let's do that. But there's somebody out there being empowered. There's some father, there's some family, there's some parent-child relationship, there's some marriage, there's some friendship where everything in that relationship is all about empowerment. You got this, man. You got this. Go ahead. And even when they decide to give them some real talk, some truth, the sister trusts. There's such a trust in that relationship that the person is willing to still listen. Okay, so you're saying that I can't do this now, but if I acquire these skills, if I go back to school, if I get this certification, if I do this, then I can do it. Yeah, okay, cool. So it's not necessarily no, it's just not yet. It's not yet. You're not ready yet. But you can get ready and you can get after it and you can do something incredible. So that's it, man. The fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. Carolyn Dweck, Dr. Carolyn Dweck, psychology professor at Stanford. It's an awesome book. Actually, it's a pretty quick read, and she gives you so many examples of the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset that it's just a fun read because you'll see yourself, but you'll also see so many people that you deal with on a daily basis, whether it is people that you in your family, people that are in your house, or people that you work with. And then even when you're out and about and you'll see little micro instances of the growth mindset being an exercise and versus the fixed mindset. And you'll notice that every time that you give yourself every time that you just give yourself a chance, you end up doing some damage, some good damage, Every time you just decide, okay, I'm gonna figure this thing out. Even if you just take yourself as far as you need to go, eventually you'll eventually get help. You'll get help. I'll give you a quick story and I'll be done. I was at I had to fix the toilet at my house, and I was working my butt off, man. Like I was sweating and everything, man. Couldn't figure this thing out. My father-in-law comes over, and he tells me, "Mark, we need to get some more tools. You don't have the proper tools. Like this, they made this bathroom years and years and years and years and years ago, and it's like you don't have the proper tools to do this." So we go out and get the tools, and we finish it, and it was hard work, but I learned something. But just because I was willing to try, I didn't have to. Because I was willing to try, I learned that. Yeah, like somebody else came to me and said, "Listen, you trying your butt off, you working your butt off, but you need some more tools." Okay, cool. We got some more tools, and then I learned something. I learned how to fix my toilet. I'm better for it. It's as simple as that. And the beautiful thing is, while I was struggling and starting to get down on myself, I just kept trying. I kept working on it. And then someone else came and said, "Take the pressure off yourself. You need some more help." Oh, it made me feel like I felt so good because I kept trying. I felt so good about myself because I didn't quit. And at the end of the day, I realized that I needed a little bit more help. And man, that's all a part. And then when you talk about confidence, those are all those little micro experiences and instances that give you a little bit more confidence to, now do something else that you don't think you're prepared for. But you realize that if I just stay after it, either I'm gonna figure it out or somebody else gonna come help me figure it out because they're gonna see me working and they're gonna give me a hand. And when they give me a hand, And just by them giving me a hand, I still grow. So that's it, man. Thoughts of things. Oh, greatness lives on the edge of death. I am not afraid to die. I will fight for my dreams. I will celebrate my dreams, and I will die for my dreams. Thoughts of things, and everything starts off as a thought first and springs from a place of mindfulness and clarity. Carolyn Dweck. The mindset, the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. Mark Fox Jr. Done.